For our first year engineering design project, we were tasked with creating a concrete canoe. Members of our group included Jacob Gardner, Nathan Rowland, Roberta Gunnels, and Aaron Seeking. We named our group Harland and Wolffpack. Understanding the engineering design cycle we learned about E101 was very important while we were completing our project. We started out by identifying the project we were tasked with and the constraints that accompanied our project. These were laid out to us in project descriptions provided by the College of Engineering. We found we had to create a canoe constructed completely out of concrete that was able to float when placed in water. Constraints were placed on shape, size, building materials, and budget. We then took time to sit down as a group and brainstorm ideas after we had all researched our project. Our brainstorming included discussion and debate on topics such as canoe shape, the substances we would use in our concrete to make it as light as possible, and how we would mold our canoe. Next, we created a plan from the information we had gathered during the brainstorming and research stages of our project. In this stage, we also took time to gather our supplies at various hardware stores around the Raleigh area. We then carried out our plan in the building phase. We started by constructing a mold out of a foam material we would be able to shape easily. We cut the pieces and glued them to create a block we could cut our canoe shape out of. We then used a bandsaw to remove material and then a file to create a final shape. Next, we covered the mold in saran wrap to keep the concrete from sticking to the mold. We then mixed our concrete, which was a mix of water, Portland cement, and our aggregate, which was made up of equal parts perlite, foam, and cut-up fiberglass. We mixed the water, cement, and perlite in the ratios we had researched and shaped it onto the mold. We then covered the wet cement in wet paper towels because we heard it would help the concrete set better. After 2 weeks, the concrete had fully set and all the water had evaporated. We removed the mold from the canoe. We then set out to improve what we had created. First, we sanded the canoe so it would have a smooth finish as required by our project's guidelines. In addition to making the surface smooth, we had to sand concrete off our canoe in order to balance the boat's weight. After sanding, we decided to paint our canoe. We used a mixture of water-based paint and a few drops of polyacrylic in order to make sure the paint was waterproof.
Still technically floating?
After the competition, we were awarded first place. Our boat met all requirements and was able to hold more weight than the other boats in both the morning and afternoon sessions.
Overall, our project went relatively smoothly, but one problem we did have was smoothing out the canoe. Sandpaper wouldn't take enough off to get a smooth finish, so we had to grind it against the asphalt to smooth it out. This was an effective method, but it didn't allow us to remove concrete from the inside of the canoe, which we had planned on doing initially.
If we could do the canoe again, we would try to find some sandpaper that would take some concrete off of the inside and outside of the canoe so we can make it lighter and more buoyant. Also, we would try to test different aggregates to see what worked well and compare them.
Some advice I'd give teams in the future for the concrete canoe is to start as soon as possible, because the concrete can take longer to set than you would think, and you have to account for problems that may happen with the concrete, like if your mold doesn't work out completely and you need to do another one. So definitely start early.